So these right here are the best version since the original, in my opinion at least. It really reminds me of what Nike Sportswear did with the Air Max 90 and the Air Max 1 Big Bubble, where they've remastered the holy hell out of these, and they are fucking amazing. Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we got a detailed look and breakdown on these bad boys right here. This is the Nike AirTech Challenge 2. This is a quick strike release, and they really are a quick strike release. These are not releasing anywhere, at least to my knowledge, in my area. It's annoying. Now, before we get started, we do have a quick word from today's sponsor, and that just so happens to be the good folks over at Bombas. Bombas, believe it or not, has been a reoccurring sponsor on the channel, and I'm greatly appreciative of that. On top of all of that, I really love their product overall. I needed some new no-shows, so I was able to grab a few pairs of those, and on top of that, I've been dabbling in quarter cuts, and I really love the vintage styling that they have here, so I got actually 3 different colorways, a maroon, a black, as well as a gray. But the majority of them come with their honeycomb arch support system, a seamless toe, a Y-stitched heel, as well as a cushioned footbed. And the best part about the brand is that every pair purchased equals 1 pair donated. All of that to say they also have a 100% happiness guarantee. So whether you're in the market for some brand new socks yourself, or you were looking for an inexpensive gift for somebody else, you could feel good and do good with Bombas, knowing that your purchase is doing some actual good out there in the world. If you're interested in trying out the brand for the first time, make sure that you use our link down below in the description box. It'll head you over to bombas.com, where you can check out everything that they have to offer. And don't forget to use our promo code, which you see on the screen right now, and it'll save you 20% off on your first purchase. Now, as far as the shoes are concerned, this is the box. They come in an original style box, and this thing right here is just awesome. I know that some people don't care about the box, but I think the presentation starts here. This is the first thing you see before the shoes, unless you see them on shelf. But like I was saying, this is an original style box. It is not identical to the originals, because the originals, believe it or not, were way thinner than that. How they fit the shoes in there, I don't know. Now, the last time that these guys released was way back in 2019. I actually do have a review on these guys, and I just gotta say, like, right off the bat, like, this is the difference between an Air Jordan 3 from like 5 years ago and an Air Jordan 3 now. The toes alone, it makes me feel like, bro, why don't you do this with everything? But yeah, this is the closest thing to the original since the original. And speaking of the original, they happen to have released way back in 1989. It was actually really late in 1989 when they first dropped, but most correlate this model to be a 1990 release. This is an Andre Agassi model, so it's most known for being his shoe, even though his name's not actually on the model itself. It's not called the Air Agassi, it's called the AirTech Challenge. But Agassi was known as the bad boy in tennis. He's the guy that kind of like changed everything from being prim and proper to bringing in a little bit of, I want to say rock and roll, but you guys can use your own lingo. But basically, he had big long hair. He was wearing bright ass colors when you were supposed to wear like all white and look all clean and stuff. The dude just had attitude. Now, as far as the shoe is concerned, they were designed by Tinker Hatfield. And again, it was worn by Andre Agassi. And at the time, it was the second installment within the AirTech Challenge line. So there was an original AirTech Challenge, and then there was the AirTech Challenge 2. The outsole right here, I mean, this just looks awesome. I know that some people might see this and be like, but I see it and I'm just like, dude, that looks mad clean. I love the way that everything's color blocked. I love that there's herringbone everywhere. I love that it's a nice flat outsole too. Fun fact, the first time I actually saw this shoe and fell in love with it was not on the feet of an athlete. It was actually on the feet of Tim Allen. Home Improvement is one of my favorite shows of all time, and everybody, or at least all the guys in the show, wore classic, like what would now be considered heat. And I just loved it. I loved watching the show and seeing the kids and what they were wearing. I was always jealous. I was like, man, I wish I could get some of those. And then Tim Allen was wearing always super dope stuff. So this was just one of those shoes where I first saw them on TV on an actor's feet, and I was still like attached to them in that way. So yeah, the way that everybody like falls in love with sneakers and footwear and specific models is always different, and I just find it fascinating. Now, as far as the tech is concerned, that's where things kind of like are interesting, because I'm not sure what exactly is in here. Based off of all of my research, the original Tech Challenge featured full-length air and a polyurethane midsole. And then if Google Translate is actually doing its job correctly, it looks like the AirTech Challenge 2 has very similar, damn near identical tech specs to the Air Jordan 3, which does feature a polyurethane midsole, an encapsulated 4-foot air sole unit, and then a visible air sole unit in the rear. Now, as far as all of the retros are concerned, they actually dumbed down the tech. back, which is not surprising. So while they did use polyurethane midsoles, a shoe like this only had the heel air unit and they did not have the forefoot air unit, which is unfortunate. Did they go back and rework things to the point of, say, the Air Max 90 or the Air Max 1 Big Bubble? I'm not sure. My initial assumption would be probably not, because it would cost a lot of money to redo all the tooling for that. But also there's an optimistic side of me that's like, well, I mean, they did it for those, so maybe. Whoever wants to cut these in half, feel free, and then we'll all know. And we'd thank you now, because, you know, currently it's just speculation. Now the upper on these guys, it's been like reworked to damn near perfection. Like I'm not gonna sit here and be like it's better than the original or it's as good as the original. I'm not gonna say that, but this is as close as they've ever gotten, so you can't deny that. And on top of that, like I was saying, compare the toe box area, man. The toes alone, the toe on this is gorgeous. The toe on this is atrocious. It's always been like, I've been like, man, can you please? And yes, they finally did.
It's beautiful.
But yeah, they reworked everything. The original model, I believe, used a Durabuck style of material. I can't remember exactly what they called it. Essentially, it was a mix of leathers and basically Durabuck. So a mix of raw and synthetic. Now, as far as this shoe is concerned, there are panels that feel like they're synthetic, like the top coat, the polyurethane coat, if you will, but you can actually see the leather underneath that because there's like just raw cuts and everything. And every panel on here that looks like leather is actually leather. It's thick too, especially like around the eye stay area, the toe. It's very thick stuff. So I really love what they've done here. It feels elevated, especially compared to the last release. Like this feels almost like a premium product, and like hats off to the team that worked on these. You guys did a really good job, man. Like outstanding. Little key details that they actually tweaked compared to the last release at any rate. If you're looking at the forefoot eye stays, the little like plastic lace pieces, on the 2019 pair, they are gray. On this version right here, they are back to white like the originals. This is going to be a little hard to see, but the swoosh is slightly textured on the brand new pair, whereas the 2019 is just a smooth synthetic. There are less perforations in the paneling, and they're actually like better defined, I guess. Like you could see them a lot better than the 2019 version. The 2019 version actually has a lot of synthetic panels, now that I'm comparing the two like really well. So where you're gonna see like lots of synthetics and just crap material on this guy, again, this one in comparison feels premium. Like it feels amazing. The laces themselves are kind of like grayed out. It's a little interesting. They look like dingy already, which is I think a cool look. And then it's going to be something that's like not super noticeable, but if you zoom into those laces, they're also a vintage style of weave, which again is just a little small detail that may go overlooked, but I noticed it and I really liked it. I thought that it was really cool. The coloring on these guys, this is known as the AirTech Challenge 2 Hot Lava colorway because of the bright, vibrant lava panels. On the 2019 pair, it's definitely like pink, kind of like a crimson look. You know what I mean? Like it's interesting. They've reworked that on this brand new pair so that they look more like a hot lava look. So it's got a little bit more of a reddish tone to it. Still very vibrant and very neon. And even if you were to compare the two, the differences are very minor. Like the shade is like only a little bit like more saturated, I guess. But to me, it's noticeable and I think it looks better on this pair. Not to say that the 2019 pair looked bad or anything. I love those. But this one is just, again, it's a little bit closer. I love it a lot. And then last but not least, they actually slimmed down the padding inside of the collar area. So compared to this 2019 version, like this whole back section is mad puffy, very well sculpted. I don't know if that's like the original. I never owned a pair. All I know is that this new version is definitely slimmed down. So again, very much like the Air Jordan 3s, like the way that they've been reshaped and retooled and remastered. This shoe is very much in line with that. So it makes me believe that this is how they came way back in like 1989 and 1990. As far as fit is concerned, they do fit true to size, so most people might want to go true to size. Wide footers, you might be good going true to size as well. But if you like a snug one-to-one fit, like you like your shoes to fit you perfectly, then you might want to consider going down half a size, especially if you have like a narrow or slim foot. The branding on the back, by the way, has also been retooled. It's a little bit smaller. It looks so good, dude. Like this is such a great release. They come with the hang tag. This makes me happy, dude. Like this makes me feel like, why can't you do this with every shoe? Or just, I don't know, like take your time instead of churning out retro after retro after retro. Take your time. We appreciate this. You'll sell more like this. Stop making these quick strikes too. Make these available. Now, with all of that being said, do we happen to have time for a question of the day?
Which part of the roller coaster do you usually ride? The front, middle, or back?
Well, I don't know if I get a choice usually. Like when you're in line, they kind of like usher you into like wherever section.
I know, but some people will...
I prefer to be in the last cart.
You want the last cart?
Yeah, because that thing whips your ass like crazy. It's fun, especially on the coasters that are super super fast, or even the ones that are a little bit slower, like you sit in the back cart and you just feel like you're going faster. So yeah, I like that. I don't like sitting in the front. Not that I don't like it, it's just that you hang there for a minute, you know what I mean, when you're going over those like little edges, and then you don't even feel it when you fall because you're dragging behind the rest of the carts. Middle ones are fun. Coasters are fun in and of itself. Fun fact, I was scared shitless of them until I was 18. Because my mom made me go on. If you're in the Bay Area or just even in like Northern California, aside from Great America, the only real like park that we had for a long time was the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk, and they have one of the oldest wooden roller coasters there. It's called the Giant Dipper.
Yeah, I believe they just celebrated like 100 years.
Yeah, and it feels like a 100-year-old thing too, because like I was like 6 or 7, I'm pretty sure I was 7, but I was under the height requirement, and so she like, and I did not have like spiky hair back then, like I was really little, so like it was just like a comb over or whatever, but like she spiked up my hair, and then at that time you needed to go to a window. Like
the window's still there.
I know, but they don't use it now. They have the signs with like the height thing. So she got me to the window and she bumped my butt up with her knee, and so it made me like this, and it looked like I was big enough to fit in there, but I wasn't. That thing only has a lap bar, dude, and I felt like I was gonna die the entire time. So from 7, no coasters until I was 18 at Great America, and then I went on Top Gun.
That was my first coaster too.
Oh really? That's cool. Where do you like to sit?
Say if there's like 10 carts, I would prefer like cart number 8 or 9.
So you want to almost be on the edge.
Yeah.
I like that.
I definitely don't like cart number 1 just because
of that hanging factor.
Yeah, you're just stuck looking at everything and then going, like, you know.
Like you can literally feel it dragging.
Yes, you can.
You know?
But I also have to stare at the ground while it's being dragged.
Like when you're on the Incredicoaster at Disney California.
Yes, that's the loop I'm thinking of.
Yeah, that you go on one like full loop, and if you're in the front cart, it just feels awful. Like it's like one of the slowest things, and you're just kind of like that, and it's not fun, you know what I mean? So yeah, the entire environment is fun, but not that. But what about you guys? Sound off below and let us know. Also, let me know what you think about these down below in the comment section. They did release today by the time that, you know, this video goes up. I apologize again. It's getting harder to get some of these like less available shoes unless you want to pay buku bucks, and you know, YouTubers, despite what people think, we don't make money like that, which is why we got sponsors and stuff, because we gotta be able to afford this somehow. But thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate your guys' support. We'll catch you guys on the next one. So until then, y'all have a good one.